so good as breakfast with Christ on the shore. Breakfast will never be better than this, than breakfast with my risen Lord. After an evening of fishing gone bad, Peter and crew felt dismay. Then seeing a man on the shore up ahead changed everything that fateful
Hi, and
day.
welcome to our video blog, Come Have Breakfast. Today I'm with Cindy Hedges, who's the director of SAFE. And I'm going to let Cindy, we want to welcome you. We thank you for being with us. And I'm just going to go ahead and let you tell us a little bit about SAFE and what it does.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm really glad you're doing this. Thanks for having us and keeping the world moving even during this COVID-19 and figuring things out. We actually have been operating in the 5-county area that we serve, which is Orange, Madison, Culpeper, Rappahannock, and Fauquier for 20 years now. So we provide shelter, support, and advocacy to victims of domestic violence and sexual violence in the communities that we serve.
Wow. So now tell me a little about your position and what you specifically do with SAFE.
My position is executive director, and that's just a fancy word for do whatever needs to be done. So I provide direct services to victims and survivors, but primarily my responsibility is to ensure that we have funding. So grant writing, fundraising, ensuring that I'm getting the word out about what we do. So that victims and survivors always have an opportunity to reach us.
Great. I've always loved SAFE Ministries and the difference you're making. You truly are making a difference in our community. I've seen it firsthand when we've had victims come in either to our free clinic or into the church, and I've reached out to you and you've always been able to step in and help us with it. And so we're very appreciative. Can you tell us some of the different ways that you are really helping some of our most vulnerable people in our community?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because oftentimes the word shelter comes up when they think of our agency, and our advocates do so much more than that. So we do court advocacy. We have a hotline that we answer 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, so holidays and weekends included. So crisis intervention, we will respond to law enforcement if they have a need or, a family that's in need pretty immediately. We do education and awareness training and events. So our advocates, I tell people if you think about throughout the course of a day, they will connect people with human services. They connect people with CSB, food closet, just any resource that the community would have. We have a way of connecting with them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, it's great work. What are some ways that the volunteers, the viewers in our church and in our community can get involved with SAFE?
So one of the first things we ask people to do is know who we are, know what our 800 number is, and ensure that when there is someone in need, we're able to make sure people know it. Even if you're not sure if it's something we do, please, you can volunteer without even knowing you're doing that by sharing our mission. And second to that, we have volunteer training that would go from 4 hours to 32 hours. 32-hour training would allow you to accompany a victim to court. That training would allow you to work in our office, work in our shelters, and come in contact with people that we're serving. People oftentimes think that's what you have to do, but not necessarily, because we realize that you may not want to do that. So 4 hours training would allow you to help us with donations, help us at awareness events, help us do mailers, do website. So there's so many opportunities. So if you have a skill and you think it might help us, then give us a call because we want to be able to connect you with the right place in our building to make it work.
What message would you like to get out into our community, in particular for those who may be watching this vlog and find themselves in a real vulnerable situation?
Yeah, I think right now, I can honestly tell you is one of the scariest times for us. We do receive calls that are hang-up calls because victims right now are shelter in place with abusers. So we ask that, if you're a cashier or if you're someone in the public, have your eyes and ears wide open. and just watch what's going on, because some of these victims can't get to us right now. So, if there's an opportunity to ensure that we can get them the message, do so. The other thing is that it's often misunderstood, but people think that you have to report to law enforcement to receive our services. That's not the case at all. Sometimes we will work with a victim that never wants to report, and it's not in their best interest to report. So we will provide services no matter what. Our services are free and confidential, and they really are tailored to whatever that victim or survivor feels that they need. So maybe it's safety planning, maybe it's getting to a family member outside of the state, maybe it's really just validating that what's going on in their home is not okay. We have support group. So we just don't want someone not to call because they don't feel like their victimization is actually that. I mean, there's mental abuse that is just as bad as physical abuse. So financial abuse also qualifies as services we provide.
Do you feel comfortable sharing a testimony or a story that might be encouraging to our viewers today?
Yeah, I love to share those stories. I love to share what it looks like when we have, a child that's, 3 years old that comes into shelter with us, and I can share specifically one little fellow that came into shelter, and he literally screamed and pointed for his needs. He didn't talk. It was a lot of meltdowns, a lot of working through some things, but in 90 days for a youngster to be in a safe, nurturing environment can make a huge difference. So by probably about 45 days in, he could sit down, we could read a book to him, he could show us his new shoes. We got a new family in, and he took one of the kids by the hand and walked him through the house and showed them where the snacks were, showed them where the playground is. I mean, to see that young fella go from not being able to even articulate the need for, a juice box, to be able to show this other family where everything was and how great it was. And, to hear a mom say that it was really great to wake up and not be in trouble just makes all the difference in the world to us.
Wow.
That's why we do what we do.
Wow. Well, on the end of that, I would like to encourage our viewers. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the URL for the website for SAFE. And I want to encourage you, hearing that story, I hope that touched many of the viewers' hearts. And so I encourage you to go down, click on the URL, go to their website, find ways you can get involved, and find ways that you can financially support SAFE Ministries. It's just a wonderful program. Before I let you go, how are some ways that we as a supporting church can pray for you and pray for the needs at SAFE?
Yeah, I first ask that we pray for the families. We pray for the families that come into shelter with us that, the first week is always hard. They're leaving everything they know to be normal. And while we know it's safer for them to be with us, sometimes that first week feels really scary because you don't know what those next steps are. So praying for those that are able to find us, pray for the ones that haven't found us yet, pray for the families that still need to find that journey to us. And I would also ask that we pray for our advocates, the advocates that come here, and they are unwavering in their commitment to serve our mission every day. They have not stopped. We've split into teams right now, and we're doing 2 different teams to ensure that we always have someone here. And not one of our team of 14 total, not one of our team of 14 total has said, no, Cindy, we're not doing this. So pray for them and pray for their families, because we are, we're coming in contact with people and we're going home daily. So they're special people doing special things.
Breakfast with Christ on the shore. Breakfast will never be better than this, than breakfast with my risen Lord. After an evening of fishing gone bad, Peter and crew felt dismay. Then seeing a man on the shore up ahead,